She's making a play. She can't go wrong. She never breaks home. She's running on down on the clock machine, and she won't give up till she's 17. She's a frozen fire. She's my one desire. I don't wanna hold her down, don't wanna break her down. When she says, let's go. I like the night, baby. She says, I like the night, baby. She says, let's go. She's laughing inside, 'cause they can't refuse. She's so beautiful now. She doesn't wear her shoes. She never likes to choose. She got wonderful eyes and the wrist and mouth. And I asked you before. She says she's holding it out. She's a frozen fire. She's my one desire. I don't wanna hold her down, don't wanna break her down. When she says, let's go. I like the night, baby. She says, I like the night, baby. She says, let's go. I like the night, baby. She said, I like the night, baby. She said, let's go.
Hi everybody, this is Katja Eckhart. Sorry I started the song there a little bit again, but that's a great song by the Cars called Let's Go. And so tonight, let's go. I would like to continue, in fact finish, my story that I began last time called Transit, which is a story about a young man named Andy who wanted to become a cross-dresser, and through the power of a sorceress named Margrethe, he was turned into a mannequin named Andrea, who was displayed in a department store and was able that way to show or exhibit various female outfits when he was on display or she was on display as a mannequin. But of course the condition of this was that he would not be able to see anything, to travel anymore. It seemed like he would not be able to move around, to walk in a normal way, and he couldn't communicate with people or talk to them because, after all, he or she, now Andrea, had become a mannequin, and mannequins can't do any of those things. But we saw that there was an unexpected twist in the story when the store was closed down and all the merchandise, including the mannequins, was put on board a cruise ship, so that Andrea was able to continue displaying various female outfits on the ship. And so in that way, she was also able to travel around in the Caribbean and see various exotic ports of call. So her dream, one of the things that she thought she would never do again, actually was something she did do again, but in an unexpected way. So let's pick up where the story left off. Remember that the ship that she was on, unfortunately, ran into some debris while it was sailing on the ocean. It sprang a leak, and the ship went down. Andrea, the mannequin, feared that she would go down with the ship, but even though the ship sank and a lot of the people on board drowned, she was made out of this buoyant material, and so she was able to float on the surface of the ocean without drowning, without going to the bottom at least, where she worried she would spend the rest of all time. So let's pick up where the story left off. Andrea the mannequin then is floating on top of the sea, and eventually she floats to this beach of this rather extensive coastline, and the sand, and she washes ashore as a mannequin wearing a bikini. So the beach that she washed ashore onto was made out of this very, very white sand, beautiful, pure white sand. There was this clear blue sky overhead and these palm trees up and down the coast that were waving gently in the breeze. So Andrea was wondering, well, what's going to come next? She was wondering, what's the next stage of this adventure that I'm on? I don't know what to expect. Sure enough, here came several people who lived near the beach. It was a tribe of people who came to see what had washed up on the shore, and it turned out that they were very awestruck by this figure that had washed up. They'd never really seen anything like that before. They thought it was a sign, an omen, a good sign, that this icon or this mannequin, this figure had washed up on shore. And so what they did was they took Andrea the mannequin and mounted her on this platform, standing up, very much like the way she would be displayed in the store or on the ship when she was being used to exhibit various female outfits. And so she was placed on this platform, which was also like a litter that the tribespeople could carry around. And lo and behold, what happened was that Andrea was carried up and down the coast and back into the hinterland of this strange continent. It was somewhere in the Caribbean, or this landmass that was somewhere in the Caribbean. She didn't know exactly where it was, but the long story short is that she got to see more and more places because she was carried there by the natives on this litter. And strangely enough, even though she could not walk in the normal way, because she was being carried around by the natives, she didn't need to walk. They were kind of doing her walking for her. So here was another thing, another unexpected turn in which something she thought she had given up before in order to become a mannequin, namely walking in the normal way, came back to her in an unexpected manner. That was also a surprise. So the next part of my story, before I tell the next part of my story, I'm going to go into my changing room so that I can show you the bikini I'm wearing. So I will be right back. If you can give me just 1 minute. And there, I'm back. Sorry about that. So this is the bikini that I wanted to show you. It's a beautiful coral bikini that I purchased several months ago in, it was in La Jolla, I believe. So this is, I enjoy wearing this. It's a little early, but fortunately I'm inside. It's too early to wear it outside. The summer's not here, but because I'm looking forward to that, I would certainly like to wear it at some point. In any event, the next part of the story that I wanted to tell is that the natives took Andrea the mannequin to this temple. It was sort of like a temple deep in the forest near the coast where she had washed ashore, and they would not keep her there all the time, but because so many people had heard about this mannequin, this figure, this miraculous figure that had washed up on the shore, she was allowed to sort of be to hold session or to hold court there. And in the meantime, in addition to the wonderful clothes that she had been able to wear before, she was also now able to wear these beautiful tribal garments that she never had imagined before. Things that had these wonderful colors, beautiful teal greens, ocean blues, this color of sunsets worked into the fabric. She was able to wear all of that, and so that was something that she also had not expected. But now here she was in this sort of temple, not all the time, but often enough so that people from all around could come to witness her. And now, in addition to being able to see a number of different things that she hadn't been able to see before, and in addition to being able to not necessarily walk in the normal way, but to be carried, and so that was another way in which she was able to become mobile. Now she found that she was able to communicate with people in a way, because strangely enough, what happened was that people would come and actually pose questions to her. They would ask her about questions in their life or what they should do, or they would tell her things, and then certain things would occur to her in her mind, and then strangely, suddenly, she would hear the people saying those very things, receiving the answer from her. Even though she wasn't speaking, it was almost like there was a kind of telepathy between her and the people who were posing questions or comments to her. And so this was the way in which she became capable of communicating with people, again, something that she had never expected that she would be able to do and couldn't do in a normal way or in an ordinary way. But strangely enough, she was able now to do it in an extraordinary way, in an unnormal and a very strange and marvelous way. So I guess the moral of my story is that what happens often in life, if you have a very deeply seated desire, something that you want to do, whatever that may be, and as long as it doesn't hurt anybody else, it's important to follow that desire, because even if you think that you might have to give certain things up in order to follow it, what often happens is that those things will come back in a way that's unexpected, in ways that you never would have anticipated, that you never would have expected, and that your life will become richer for that. So I guess that's the moral of the tale I'm telling, the transit story that I'm telling, and it is that you really should be true to yourself and to the things that you think are most deeply rooted in you, that will give you fulfillment, even if it requires you to make sacrifices, because strangely enough, those things may come back to you in ways that you don't expect. So that's what I wanted to say tonight. And again, this is my bikini. I wanted to, again, just sort of anticipate the summer. I'm looking forward to that. And thank you for being patient with me while I changed. I had to do a quick change there. But until next time, this is Katya Eckhart. I want to thank everybody for joining me, and I hope that you enjoyed my story. And until next time, I want to wish everybody a restful and peaceful good night, and I look forward to seeing you again in my next video. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.